It's just gone 3 o'clock. Welcome to this Tuesday edition of Newsfeed PM. My name is Ngcobo. Thank you for joining us. We begin here. Expectations are high of President Cyril Ramaphosa's meeting with his American counterpart in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. In preparation for that, Ramaphosa is expected to meet with his delegation in the next couple of hours. The president will have to set the record straight on Trump and his administration's unsubstantiated views on some of South Africa's policies and general state of affairs. Newzroom Afrika's Ziyanda Ngcobo is at the South African Embassy in Washington, D.C. and joins us now live. A very good afternoon, South African time, to you, Ziyanda Ngcobo. I believe the Team South Africa has just gotten to the embassy, getting ready, of course, for that meeting with President Cyril Ramaphosa.
That's right, Vuyo. Of course, preparations are still well underway for that meeting in the Oval Office. Technical briefings and updates are going to be given not only to President Cyril Ramaphosa at 10 o'clock our time, which is within the next hour, but also to us as the media and the contingent protocol officers that will be accompanying him into the Oval Office. And one such person who is forming part of this discussion is our International Relations Minister, Ronald Lamola. Welcome to Washington. I believe you only arrived sometime late last night. As you are here right now, let's talk about the briefing that you're going to be having with the president and what kind of details you'll be giving him and the state of preparations. I know that your DG Zane Dango was at the White House yesterday and at the State Department as a part of the build-up towards that gathering.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ziyanda, and to the viewers at home. It's an engagement, a normal engagement briefing with the president on the preparations that I have already been underway for some months now, and also to engage on the structured bilateral relations that we have with the U.S. and how to continue to reset it in a mutual beneficial way. And also various preparatory matters that will be necessary that the president may need.
How's the treatment from the Americans been behind the scenes? Have things been smooth in terms of arranging this meeting? We are at their behest at the moment.
Yeah, it has been a good arrival. You have seen when the president arrived, he was welcomed well in line with the working visit by the Chief of State Protocol in the U.S., which is their manner of doing things. And even ourselves have been welcomed well. And there has already been engagements, as you have said, with the various layers of the State Department, including trade, our counterpart, Minister Tau, with his counterpart and the trade relations. So indeed, it has been a very good up to so far, and we're looking forward to a good engagement tomorrow.
Actually, it's important to mention that because there's a lot of debate about how the president was welcomed. Let's distinguish between a state visit and a working visit, because some of the believe that the president was not given, the kind of weight or the gravitas in terms of the welcoming that he received yesterday.
Yeah, as you have already said, a state visit goes with all the pomp and ceremony of a state visit, with all the protocols and etiquettes, 21 gun salute, those type of pomp ceremony, and the manner of receipt is also a bit different. But countries also differ from country to country. In our country, obviously, a visiting president will be welcomed by one of the ministers. Usually it will be myself, but it's not possible for me to welcome everyone. So sometimes my colleagues will welcome a visiting president for a state visit. With regards to a working visit, it's a courtesy we also extend. But the U.S., they do it differently. They do it through the welcoming with the Chief of State Protocol for a working visit, which was done in line with the visit, and you have seen the salute by the defense here of the U.S. in the welcoming. So it is in line with their protocol. So we have been welcomed well in that regard here in the U.S., and we look forward to the engagements tomorrow to reset the bilateral relations, to reset issues. You will remember when we briefed in South Africa that the tariffs have nullified AGOA. So there is a need for engagement in that regard. And obviously there will be issues of geopolitics that will pop up, which we'll have to engage on, including our own domestic issues that we continue to contend with in South Africa in relation to transformation. The land question will obviously pop out, and the issues that we are ready to engage, and we look forward to a very good meeting.
Let's talk about the program of the president. What has he been up to since he arrived? What else is on the menu in terms of his itinerary? Is he meeting with business people such as Elon Musk, maybe Johan Rupert? We're told that he's somewhere here in Washington. Who else is the president trying to engage with as we put the agenda of South Africa forward in that meeting in the Oval?
Yeah, the president will engage with all stakeholders, but at this stage we will only be able to confirm upon briefing to the president. As you have said, it's going to happen at 10. So we are not yet at liberty to divulge everyone that the president will be meeting, but it's a very narrow kind of a mission, working visit with a specific focus to reset bilateral relations. So as we have already said, it will not be like the state visit where we have all the other engagements and with the stakeholders. You will know in South Africa there will be an engagement with, for example, a business forum and all that. It is not. This is a very narrow type of visit, but there will still be other engagements that the president will be involved in with relevant stakeholders.
Is the president interested, or this delegation, or someone on the SA delegation interested in meeting those 49 white Afrikaners who have been brought into this country under refugee status? Is this something that's perhaps on the cards as a way to show or prove or dispel some of the falsehoods?
No, it's not part of our visit. As I've already said, this is a focused visit, working visit, with a clear intentions to reset bilateral relations, including issues of mutual beneficial relations. That is the focus of the engagement. Obviously, that may arise during the discussions, and we are ready to engage on that if it does arises. And there is no need for us to have that engagement with the white South Africans who came here voluntarily in line with the executive order. And as we have always said, the South African government has got no policy to persecute any white Afrikaner. There is also laws in our country in line with our constitution that makes it a constitutional imperative for the state to continue with the program of transformation. But it is not part of our program to meet the 49 white South Africans who have emigrated to the US. Part of our program is very narrow, as I've said, to reset the bilateral relations and to engage on all issues of mutual interest between the two countries.
Are you going to be meeting with your counterpart, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's just recently done an interview, really emphasizing once again just on Sunday on CBS News that there is a white genocide and that they want to actually extend the scope of this refugee program, which has been extended to the white Afrikaners in South Africa. Do you have an appointment with him?
No, such a meeting is not yet confirmed, but my counterpart, Minister Tau, was able to meet his counterpart. So at this stage, the first meeting in relation to that will be at the White House.
Hopefully we'll get a little bit more detail on who else is on the program, when and how. Vuyo, that's DIRCO Minister Ronald Lamola, ahead of a 10 o'clock meeting where President Cyril Ramaphosa will be meeting with the South African delegation. We understand that this meeting was supposed to have taken place last night, but not everyone had arrived. For instance, someone like Ngcobo Jonas as well is said to have only arrived late last night. And so really huddling together, probably also hopefully tightening the message and the messaging from South Africa going into that meeting. So far, it would seem, having popped up on Park Star's feed, that there was a meeting between his counterpart, Ambassador Jamieson, as well as Agriculture Minister John Steenhuisen. But it's going to be very important for everyone to be singing from the same hymn sheet.
Ziyanda Ngcobo, live from the South African Embassy in Washington, D.C., where in the next, 50 minutes or so, President Cyril Ramaphosa and the rest of the South African delegation will be holding that meeting to strategize about tomorrow. Ziyanda, at the moment, not really succeeding in getting much from the Minister of International Relations, Ronald Lamola, insisting that the detail of what they will be talking about with whoever tomorrow are still being kept secret until, of course, that meeting with President Ramaphosa.